The Nasdaq closed at an all-time high. Apple closed at an all-time high. And the growth stocks were picking up strongly today. So why am I feeling just a little bit short-term bearish? We've talked about this sideways trend in this kangaroo market that's been going around for the past week or so. That's supposed to reflect the mid-April to mid-May period. Maybe be a little bit more accurate to what a kangaroo market truly is than that period. That period was still on a slight upward trend. I think we're now in a more sideways, it's really going to be a line down the middle kind of situation. And we're approaching the higher end of that range. That sideways movement, the market doesn't literally just draw a flat line. It's going to do a lot of this, and there's going to be a flat line through it. But I'm short-term bearish because I believe that pattern will hold, that sideways momentum will hold, and I could be wrong on that. We could continue on the long-term bull run right now, but I do believe that sideways momentum will hold, and it's going to be somewhere around 3,200 on the S&P 500. So it looks like we're hitting that, close to that. We're at 31 and change, and maybe we're going to get a little bit of a pullback down to the high 2,900 range. And I'm not a market timer. I'm not a technicals guy. But I am, seeing massive gains and massive runs on some stocks. And the positions that I think are getting close to full value, fair value, etc., I'm trimming on just a little bit. They're not because I don't like the stock, okay? I don't not like the stock, but they're growing to large portfolio allocations. Like today I talked about selling CRISPR. Why? Because I have exposure to 2 CRISPR stocks that combined took up 14% of my portfolio, and that's a lot. 2 stocks, 14% of your portfolio. Yes, they're 2 of my largest positions, but it's a lot of allocation right there. A relatively, high risk and volatile position. So my plan is when the market's hot on a day like today, lots of emotion, Peter Navarro stuff over the night, trade deals intact after people thought it wasn't for 30 minutes, and a 10% run up, at end of 76, somewhere in 77, and then I was like, okay, 79, got to take some off the table. It ended up closing around 75. That's kind of a good way at looking at things. When something gets a run up, yes, I believe in CRISPR long term. I do want to, most of my position I still own. Vast majority of my position I still own. But I want to realize some profits, take some risk off the table, realize that it's gotten such a large portfolio allocation all of a sudden by no fault of my own, just the fact that the price kept going up and the allocation kept growing. I didn't buy more. It just grew and grew. But we want to shrink it down. We want to keep it in check. We want to keep our thoughts in check. So shrunk it down just about 12% between the 2 stocks. That's still a lot. So, if it falls down, if it gets down to like 9, 10%, then I'm going to come back and buy a little bit more. That's kind of the plan right here. We're seeing ourselves at the top of this kind of range where everyone's kind of heating up. And as Warren Buffett says, you want to be greedy when others are fearful, and fearful when others are greedy. So if you go back to the 7% day, a week from Thursday, last Thursday, a week before last Thursday, a lot of people were fearful of a second drop. And I was saying, I'm buying a little bit today. I could be wrong. Now it's kind of the opposite of that. A lot of people seem to be excited. And it was more excited in the morning. And then towards midday, the momentum started to shift a little bit. And then towards the end of the day, there was a stronger sell-off, but we still opened up. It was nothing crazy. It's really nothing crazy. And I'm not projecting a crazy downturn here either, okay? It's not going to be something crazy. But, 3, 4, 5 to 10% pullback, I would not be shocked to see. And I would welcome that, okay? If we see that, I'll be buying as soon as I feel like the market is fearful again. I'll be greedy in those times. But right now I feel like a lot of people are greedy and buying. And I could be wrong about that because there is an enormous pile of cash that is now going around that needs to find a home. And it's a good place. Stock market is a pretty good place to put that cash, to build a home for that cash. So I could be wrong. You know, we could continue the upward trend. That's why I'm not selling all my positions. I'm just trimming them a little bit, getting my allocations in check. Really only doing it on the positions that have seen the gains. I have some positions that haven't really seen a whole lot of gains yet, that are still laggards. Those I'm not touching or touching less. So, you know, I'm mostly in the market. I've got 20% cash now. It's nothing crazy. So don't take this, you know, out of context, wild. And you got to be nimble and you got to adapt and you got to, you know, prepare yourself for what may or may not come. So I'm preparing for a downturn. I want to take advantage of that. Nothing crazy, no crazy downturn, just a slight pullback, a slight sell-off. That may or may not happen. If it doesn't happen, I'm not going to lose a lot. I'm hoping it happens because then I might get some nice wins. So hope that gave you some insights into how to navigate these times. So until tomorrow, peace.